Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons. The Bisons, a 56-7 winner on family weekend at home, and in a football game that saw the Bisons over 500 yards of offense, and most of that on the ground, 457. And, Coach, on a rainy night, it was a perfect night to run the football. And I know you had to be pleased with the way your team came out and took care of business on the second home game of the season.
I tell you what, I was pleased. And really, for the first time in a few weeks, it really felt like Bison football on offense. You know, we pounded the football. I think we had 6 different guys that scored, and a lot of fun. Really proud of the guys for sure.
59 rushes in the football game, and I thought it was very impressive, the offensive line. I thought they were super all evening long.
Oh, there's no doubt. You know, those guys, they got behind their pads, and you know, they really made it a long night for the front seven at Oklahoma Baptist. They were ready to go home at halftime, and that's because of the O-line. Really proud of those guys. They're doing a dynamite job.
And a night, rain seems to be following us around, Coach. It was raining when I arrived at the stadium early. It rained all during warm-ups and throughout the entire football game.
I tell you what, it really has been crazy. But I bet you that nobody in our league would have a better crowd on a pouring down rainy night than we did. I mean, the fans that we had were fantastic. Man, they were loyal. They sat through the whole thing, and they were vocal, and it was encouraging. I can't imagine what we're going to have if we ever have a nice night.
Bisons do win at home their second home game, week number 4. They're now 3-1 on the season. We have a lot of highlights to get to, player interviews, and more on this week's edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons, and we'll start with first half highlights right after this.
I'm the greatest hitter in the world! Strike 1. I'm the greatest hitter in the world! Strike 2. I'm the greatest hitter in the world! Strike 3. Wow. I'm the greatest pitcher in the world. Yes!
Optimism. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Back on this week's edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons, the Bisons like to win the toss, defer the option of the second half. Oklahoma Baptist did that on Saturday night with all the rain and put the Bison offense on the football field. They scored first as we begin first quarter highlights. Harding scored on their first drive right down the field, and then would get ready to kick it away. 4 plays, 68 yards on that opening drive, Coach, and here is the extra point by Cameron Scott, then Cameron Scott to kick it away, and it was a great way to start.
It was a great first drive, some big plays. Tristan Tucker was some big runs again, and you know, when you have a rainy night, it's always kind of scary, just the way the ball is going to bounce. You know, crazy things happen on a rainy night. You know, I was disappointed, honestly, in the way they ran the football against us. They had 120 yards rushing, which felt like 500. We've been so good against the run. Number 7 was tough, ran hard, and you know, it felt like we were getting knocked backwards, but you know, watching on film, it really had more to do with just fits. Just like right here, we didn't fit our gap very well and let that guy get loose. He was a good athlete and a good runner. I tell you, one of the big things about the offense Saturday night that was so impressive is, you know, we had on a messy night, we had no turnovers and no penalties, and that really is fantastic.
And you talked about the rushing here on this first series. I thought that your team really made adjustments and really limited the rushing yardage after this first series. A lot of the yards from Oklahoma Baptist came on this first series, as you see the touchdown pass there to Jaquez Henderson. 7-7 now as the Bisons get the football back.
Yeah, you know, the offense obviously responded all night long, really well. There's a run by Taylor Bissell, who had another really good night for us, just a really solid performance. And this is the way it's supposed to look when everything's clicking. we'll just take whatever they give us and get everybody involved. And when we're doing things this way, it makes for a fun night.
Bisons had 3 different runs of over 50 yards in that first half. That was a big part of the first half, and we saw the Cole Chansey big run there that set up that second score. Now 14-7 Bisons.
Yeah, then the defense kind of got in the groove a little bit, which I was pleased with.
Bisons here, this is a 3rd down. And Sam Blankenship, who had a very good night, Coach, 8 tackles and the 1 sack right there.
Yeah, Sam's a faithful, loyal old dude now. I love watching that young man play.
And now the offense gets it back as we move into the second quarter with a 14-7 advantage. And this second quarter really went your team's way. They really seemed to take over the football game in the second quarter.
Yeah, there's no doubt. That was probably our best quarter all year. Clearly, it was our best night all year. And part of that was the plan on defense, but part of it was we just really did a better job executing. You can see Preston's confidence go up every week, and that is exciting to see. He really played well. He graded out 92%, over 100 yards rushing, and that's really exciting for all of us.
Really made a great decision there, didn't he? And made the cut and showed some speed.
Yeah, putting your foot in the ground and getting north and south is so important in this offense. Toughness is important, speed is important, but decision making is the most important, and those decisions are coming easier and easier for him.
Bisons with a 21-7 advantage at this point here in the second quarter.
We got caught on reverse a little bit, but I tell you what you see with this defense is that even when we get out leveraged, they can really run. They can make up for a mistake really fast.
This forces a 4th down for Oklahoma Baptist right here, and T.J. Winslow with a great play.
Yeah, big time play by the old senior. I think if I'm right, they were 0 for 3 on 4th down.
Yes, 0 for 3 and 4 for 16 on 3rd down.
I don't think we've allowed a 4th down conversion on this year that I know of, which is pretty awesome.
That is correct.
And we're getting better and better on 3rd down. That's the name of the game. Get off the field, defense. Get off the field. Put it back in the offense's hands.
What about this pass right here to Taylor Bissell?
Great job. Kind of. That's what this offense does. Is it brings those safeties downhill, gets those guys in the box, and you throw it behind them. And
51 yards there. The touchdown pass paid into Bissell. The Bisons now leading at 28-7.
Coming into the game, this young man had been sacked only 1 time, and you can kind of see why. He really has vision, really escapes well. He actually played for an old Bison, played for Brian Polk, who played here quite a few years ago, and a good football player. I thought Frank did a good job returning the punts all night and making good decisions.
Romar Reed's here with the carry.
Good run from Romar. He had a better night.
Sets up a big play right here for Tristan Tucker.
Yeah, I tell you what, right now we have something that's kind of odd for us, and that's for one of our slots to be, I think he's 3 or 4 in the league in rushing, which in this balanced offense, you don't see it that often.
He has moved up to now 2nd in rushing, and the conference leads the Bisons in rushing. His 3rd game of over 100 yards rushing this season came on Saturday night. Bisons right now with a 35-7 advantage.
Defense kind of came alive. Big sack by TJ. That's 4 on the season, which leads the league. And boy, he is playing lights out. I'm really proud of him. Did you see that move? Unbelievable.
Oklahoma Baptist trying to get something going, and here's Viante Williams coming up with the interception.
Big time pick by Viante. Coming into the game, they had a receiver that was leading the league in receptions, and there actually was a scout from the Raiders there to watch him play, and Viante covered him most of the night, and he ended up with 1 downfield catch on the night for 5 yards.
Yeah.
So Viante was fantastic.
Yeah, Cagney Roberson just 2 catches on the evening, and coming into the game, he was the GAC leader in reception. So a great job defensively for your secondary. And up 35-7 at the half. But Coach, I've been around you long enough to know that when you went into the halftime locker room, there was no celebrating.
Well, no, you got to play two halves. I mean, that's a lesson that you have to learn the hard way sometimes. Is this is about finishing. You've got to finish, and I think our young men learned that lesson the hard way last year, and so we're pretty serious about making sure it's over.
What about the response after you go up 7-0, and then Oklahoma Baptist comes back, ties the game? And after that point, your football team really, I thought the response was outstanding. Yeah,
no doubt about it. We had a few calls on the first drive that we'd like to get back. Defense responded really, really well. I don't think there was ever any panic. But yeah, when half their yards come on the first drive, and then that's a sign that your coaches are doing a good job. Get your guys in the right place.
Bison's 35-7 with the advantage at the half on a rainy night. They go in and maybe try to dry up a little bit at halftime, but it would rain the entire second half as well. We have more highlights ahead. We'll look at the second half highlights right after this.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now? I think it's good. Yeah?
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you said make it bigger.
No, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Bison's with a 35-7 advantage at this part. In our highlights, as we are at halftime getting ready for the third quarter to start, and Oklahoma Baptist, I mentioned as we started the show, declined the option to the second half to get to football, so they're going to put their offense out there with Harding up 35-7. And you talked about Preston Hare and how impressive he had been coming in for Oklahoma Baptist. So I know that you weren't just too comfortable right now.
Oh yeah, when you throw the ball the way they do, you can score points in a hurry. And so no, we weren't not in the mood to let up.
A 29-yard pass play right there to Noah McGraw gets them at midfield.
Big time hit by Chris Wine right there. John Aaron Howe played really well for us. Great to see. You love seeing the old guys play well. They just have not many chances left. I hate to say that, but you just love seeing the old guys play well.
And now that was third down, so now here's fourth down on this first series of the second half. Yeah, and Ja'Cory Nichols had great coverage there.
Yeah, that's awesome to see him get down there threatening and getting a stop. Big deal. Good to see old Cole get loose a little bit. Love that young man. He plays so hard for us. Just right there, just the timing of the pitch by Preston, pulling the defense to him and then getting the ball pitched at the last second. In this offense, the details are so crucial.
Preston Payton, I thought, made a lot of good reads, and that sets up this run right here by Cole Chancey, and it's a race to the corner. And Cole had no problem sliding there on a wet turf on Saturday night.
I think there's a chance it's going to rain this past weekend. It's crazy.
But that had to be a good feeling, Coach, to come out, stop Oklahoma Baptist, get the football back, go right down the field, make it 42-7.
Yeah, an awesome statement just about our kids and their level of focus and, really how much they love to play. I mean, they love to play together, and that's evident.
Late in the third quarter right here, loose football there that Oklahoma Baptist was able to recover.
Yeah, they got credit for 9 yards of rushing on that. That doesn't seem very fair to me.
Here's a third down play that one of their
Well,
conversions and then the takeaway.
Yeah, the play of the night on defense. I mean, Tony Beckton with the fantastic strip, Dalen with the phantom tackle right here. He got tired, I think. You know, two old seniors making a play, and boy, it's just fun. It's, you know, just watch the kids celebrate with each other and loving on each other. It's a neat deal.
Yeah, Tony Beckton did force that fumble.
Boy, if you can tell old Malik Matthews can run now, man, he's fast. He gets that corner turned. He's dangerous.
Bison's up 42-7 now as they move into the fourth quarter, and you talked about it. A lot of the fans were still there, Coach, even into the fourth quarter. It was family weekend, parents' night, and there to see a lot of Bisons play.
You know, I'll tell you what, here's the thing. Unlike other sports, you know, we have 130 kids in our program approximately. So on a road trip, over half our kids don't even get to go, you know, and so much less play. And so, you know, to be able to get a lot of these young guys in, guys that deserve to play, that have worked their tail off, man, it's so rewarding. And then you watch how our kids react when a young guy plays, or a guy that hadn't, you know, when that guy makes a play. You know, you just tell our kids love each other and love being together. It was a lot of fun. It was a fun night for a lot of guys.
Bisons give the football back now to the offense. Now here is Inslee in to run the offense for the Bisons. Dakota Inslee, the junior from Granbury, Texas.
Yeah, Dakota came in and did a dynamite job. He's such a special young man. You know, you get to watch Jesse Holness carry the ball and Hunter Van Loo carry the ball. You know, guys that are dynamite Bisons. I wish you could have been on the sideline right here and watched the reaction of everybody.
That's exactly what I was watching, Coach, from the booth upstairs with the greeting that he got when he got back to the sideline.
He is such a special young man, and you know, the kids just, boy, they pull for each other. But when you have the kind of character and leadership, and you know, he is a special kid, and it was neat to watch the kids love on him.
Puts the Bisons up 56-7 at this point.
Almost a great play by Javarius Wood, another redshirt freshman that's new to our program, an awesome young man.
Another young man from Commerce, Georgia.
That would have been a good first down if it would have been somebody besides Deontay chasing him. He's pretty fast.
And the greatest formation, Grant Fitzhugh gets in there for the second week to take the kneel down.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it for Grant. I hate it for those young guys that want to get in there and go score. But I told the guys last night, I said, guys, there will be a time in your life when somebody has a chance to put it on you, and hopefully they don't. You know, there's a time to finish, and there's a time for mercy, and that was certainly the time for mercy. Several
superlatives from the game, but I thought one that really stuck out, only the second time in Bison history that we've seen three different backs rush for 100 yards or more. The other time happened back in 2011. Jeremy Holt, Cale Gillis, and Kelvin Martin did it against Southwestern Oklahoma. And then that happened on Saturday night. Tristan Tucker, Cole Chansey, and Preston Payton all rushed for at least 100 yards.
Well, when you think about, you know, the last 7 years and the kind of offenses we've had and the kind of, you know, outstanding guys we've had, to say it's been that long is really impressive. That jumps out at me, and the no penalties, no turnovers on a wet night was a huge deal. So, yes, dynamite night for the Bisons and really for the offense.
Bisons win 56-7, and we're going to have a chance to come back and hear a post-game reaction from the press conference after the game. Sam Blankenship and Preston Payton. We'll hear from them on the other side of the break right after this.
Do you see that truck? Oh, jeez. It's a 2 Michelin star chef. All for free, ladies and gentlemen. All for free.
Here we have a panzanella with summer vegetables and pesto. Enjoy. How we doing?
Fantastic. So what do you got going on underneath that plate there?
This food is really about to be thrown away.
Yeah. Bro?
Is there something wrong with this food? Where did you get it from?
From farmers markets. They put aside the ugly vegetables and the ugly fruits.
Carrot top, soft avocados. It was all food that was going to be discarded.
Even the drink you had is made from like a little bruised peach. Did it taste a little bruised?
Great. It's good.
The average person throws away 24 pounds of food a month.
That's a lot.
Isn't that a lot? Go visit SaveTheFood.com for more information. Thank you. Junk food time!
Back on this week's show with Coach Simmons, and we always love to hear from the Bisons, especially after a victory, and Sam Blankenship and Preston Payton. We'll hear from them right now.
I love being in a dogfight. So, you know, it was fun. You know, just even the weather. This is the type of game I love. You know, it's raining. You know, they kind of have to run the ball. So like we know they got to run it at us. And once you kind of get in a feel for it, you're just kind of in the game, and all the nerves are gone. You're just kind of going, and you kind of get their tendencies, and you kind of get a feel for how they run the ball and how the linemen are going to block you. So I thought the effort though tonight was great. You know, tons of guys were flying around, pursuit like we always do. We were playing Bison football. Just, you know, we would have wished to taken care of little details early on.
When you see the guys get out there that are your backups, that don't get to play a whole lot, and then they get out there and play really well, what's the atmosphere on the sideline?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, that's probably what I'm most excited for, when guys that you know, I've seen them work hard like all practice. You know, they've been killing themselves, and they get a chance to go out there and they're making plays. Like that excites me more than anything. Probably that's so fun for me to watch those guys. And yeah, like you said, they're balling out there, so that's really awesome.
With the offensive line, like headed by Bryce and the Pledger twins, you know, you have all the confidence in the world knowing those guys are gonna get their job done.
Yeah. How? Yeah, this is I guess your 5th game as a starter. Are you getting more comfortable back there, and are things starting to slow down a little bit?
Oh yeah, with this offense, you know, you really can't replicate the reps in practice because how fast defensive moves and stuff. So, you know, just game by game, just trying to take what I did last game bad and turn it into good.
Great to hear from those two Bisons, and Sam Blankenship, senior from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and of course Preston Payton from Burleson, Texas. And what Sam touched on was a lot about what you're talking about. Fans see games on Saturdays, but they rarely get to see what goes into a football program and all the work behind the scenes, and everybody trying to pull that same rope.
Boy, I tell you what, it really is amazing how many people are pulling in the same direction. You know, our managers, our training staff, and Ronnie and Eric and those guys do an unbelievable job. Our SID Scott is unbelievable. I mean, just everybody is fighting together to help our guys do their very best on Saturday, including, like I said, the majority of our guys don't get to get on the field. And if there's not a fantastic atmosphere of washing feet, of being unselfish, of, you know, what can I do to serve, then you're gonna have major morale problems. And we don't have morale problems because we have really special young men that understand that, you know, my job is to figure out what my role is. You know, I need to figure out what my role is. How can I help? And then do that role as best I can, and realize that that's enough.
All right, we're not finished. We have one more segment. We'll come back. Bailey Hedden catches up with a guy, John Kane, that has a very difficult job, and we don't hear his name near enough, but a very difficult job, and we'll talk to him and wrap it up right after this.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Back on this week's show with Paul Simmons and a chance to catch up with John Kane. Bailey Hedden did that earlier, and the Bison's junior long snapper. Here's Bailey Hedden with John Kane.
Thanks, Billy. I'm here with junior long snapper for the Harding football team, John Kane, and we're here to learn just a little bit more about him. So, John, what's your favorite candy?
I would have to say anything sour. So, like Sour Patch Kids. I like the berry version of Sour Patch Kids. And then, like sour gummy worms. You can't go wrong with that.
What's your favorite sport to watch?
So I just love sports. Anything with the ball, honestly, but I also love running. But football, I'd have to say number one. I love football. I love watching our team, you know, on the sidelines and stuff.
Who would you say is your biggest fan?
My biggest fan? Oh, gosh. I would say probably either my mom or my little brother. My little brother is Ben. Yeah, he's always, always supports me at my stuff. My mom's always there too. She's always the first one to give me a hug after the games and stuff. So, one of them two probably.
Okay, what's your favorite thing to do outside of football?
Outside of football, well, I'm pretty good at blowing bubbles. I can do that pretty well. I can juggle. I like to do that. I like to cook. Just stuff like that. Just a few little things I like to do.
What team do you like to play against the most?
It depends. Sometimes you get a lot of teams that like to talk a lot of trash. So I like to hear the trash. I don't really talk much, but I like to hear what they say and what some of our guys say back. But I also like playing teams that are really respectful. We played Ferris State in the playoffs last year, and I really respected them because they just didn't really talk much. They just played football. It was just a really respectable team. So.
What's your favorite season?
Favorite season? Probably football season.
So the fall.
I guess you could say that, yeah.
What's the last good movie you saw?
Oh, man. Well, I just watched a movie with my girlfriend. I think it was called Pride and Prejudice or something. It's all right, I guess, yeah.
What's your favorite sports memory as an athlete?
Sports memory as an athlete. Last year, my sophomore year, we were playing in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. And we were playing against Ferris State up in Michigan. And it's always fun, we got to fly to that game, so it's always fun being on a plane with the team, being in the hotels with the team. So that game was a fun game just because it was, farther away. But when it came down to the fourth quarter, we were down by 2 points. And so we drove the ball the entire field. And we got to the 5-yard line or something. And so it was fourth down. There's 3 seconds left in the game. And so the coaches were debating, do they kick a field goal? Do they try to run it in? I just remember being right there. The coaches are arguing, well, not arguing, but they were discussing, run it, kick it. We've got 1 play left. So we decided to kick a field goal, and I looked back to the sideline, and my entire team is on their knees, locked arms, and they're all praying that we kick the field goal and make it. Me and my kicker look at each other, we're like, we got this. It's just another day. We got this. And so I remember being in my stance, holding the ball in my hands, and it seemed like forever. I could hear the entire stadium just roaring. I really felt like the ground was shaking. I really felt like that. But I snapped the ball. We kicked it and went right through. And then I turned around, just to go back to the sidelines like I always do. And my entire team is running onto the field celebrating. And I didn't realize the game was over yet because I'm still in the zone at this point. And I'm thinking, everyone, get off the field. We have to kick off. We have to kick the other team now. We gotta keep playing. And the announcer said, and that's your ball game. Harding Bisons win. They announced they advanced to the semifinals. And that's when I was kind of like, oh my goodness, we just won. Oh my gosh. So that was cool, and that was cool having my family there after that. And it was emotional, and it was fun, and so that was a special moment.
Okay, so now that the season started, how do you feel like the rest of the season is going to go?
Obviously we just want to take it 1 game at a time. We feel pretty confident about playing this weekend. But I feel good. We took a loss in week 2, which was frustrating. We wish we could do it again. But you take what you get, learn from your mistakes, and you move on. But I feel really, really confident about the teams that we play. I'm excited to see what we can do this weekend. So I think it's going to be good.
Okay, so I have one more question for you.
Okay.
What does it mean to be a Bison to you?
When I got recruited back in 2016, I just really, really was impressed by just the spirituality of our team. We're a team that wants to honor God and what we do. And I was impressed with, on my recruiting visit, how many times we prayed. Before we had our big dinner with all the family, and then and whenever we first got there, the coaches prayed. One of the athletes prayed for something. It was just I was really impressed. But also just just how much attention to detail that we do. Just the little things, how they add up and how they stack. And we're trying to stack wins and stuff. And how the little things in class, showing the class every day, being 15 minutes early to meetings. Just a little attention to detail, how they stack up, and that's how you win games on Saturday. I love that about our program, that it's just, you know, the little things matter. You know, you get the little things, and that helps you be successful in life. So that's what it is.
I'm Bailey Hedden for the Harding Sports Network, here with John Kane. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, Bailey. And I tell you what, Bailey has some tough questions sometimes. John Kane did a very good job there with that. And Coach, I can remember so many big field goals that John Kane has been a part of, and it all starts with him as our long snapper from Glenpool, Oklahoma.
Yeah, John's an awesome young man. What he didn't tell you is that he had a hard decision to make between playing football in college or playing in the band. He plays the euphonium, whatever that is, but apparently plays it really well.
Yeah.
John's is a fantastic young man, obviously.
Great to hear from him. And now, Coach, on to Monticello's Saturday afternoon game, and to take on a UAM team that we know can score. And it was a shootout here last year.
I tell you what, last year we had to score 58 points to beat them. They scored, I think, 48, 49 points against us. They're really, really dangerous. Their senior quarterback is a winner. It's a tough place to play. The game's at 1 o'clock, so there's lots of reasons for us to make sure we have a tremendous week. And the key to beating UAM on Saturday is we got to beat them today, and we got to beat them on Tuesday. We got to beat them on Wednesday. We've got to be. We got to fight for every inch that we can get as far as getting better. But yeah, we've got a dogfight down there. That will be a group that's playing with an awesome chip on our shoulder and nothing to lose, really.
All right, Coach, always great to be with you. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week right here on the show with Paul Simmons. Don't forget, we'll have radio coverage, 1 o'clock kickoff Saturday on KVHU 95.3 at UAM on Saturday. We'll see you next time.